Reactions have been kind of all over the place, to be honest. I actually used to live in Scotland, and I wasn't particularly out at that school. That's when I started to feel something was different, but it wasn't until I actually moved to America and started high school that I felt that I had, since it was a fresh start, that I could kind of mess around with how I presented myself and mess around with a whole new group of people and basically a clean slate. And I feel like the school environment in my newer school there were a lot more openly LGBT people and a lot more support and a little more openness in how to express. And so I felt like it was easier to dive into the weird world of gender and its expression and kind of play around with how I was feeling. And so I initially didn't come out until maybe the end of my freshman year of high school, when it took me a while to kind of feel out the space and feel out the people and see whether it could possibly be dangerous or it could possibly be great if I were to come out. And I came out and it ended up being great. It ended up being awesome. There's a GSA, which stands for Gay Straight Alliance, at my high school, where there were already a few people, seniors, who were transgender and who were kind of like mentors for me almost, where I told them about what I was feeling and they reflected back, yes, that's valid and that's what I feel too, and we're probably dealing with the same thing. And that helped me solidify where I am with my gender, because I had someone else who knew what I was talking about and what I was going through, and that I wasn't just being, weird or having some weird crisis with my gender. So the reaction in general, because my school is so open, has been accepting and positive. I've barely gotten any negative or mean, comments or actions. It's actually the only things that could be even counted as mean have actually just been where someone doesn't quite understand, and it's just been that they haven't been educated on it. And then I'm happy to educate and I'm happy to tell people about it. And a lot of the times after I've talked to the people who didn't understand what being transgender was all about, they were also kind and also treated me nicely, because they just wanted to understand what exactly was going on, and it wasn't that they were trying to be malicious in particular. So in general, the reaction has been positive for the most part. I don't think I've been bullied or anything remotely close to that over my gender or my expression. And then at home, it's always difficult having a child kind of come up to you and be like, you've raised me this way, you're like almost all my life, but surprise, sorry, that's not me. And for parents that can be like, oh no, what? So at first, my parents were kind of shocked and confused and didn't really understand how to go about things. But I think after they did some research and they educated themselves on it, and I educated myself more on being transgender, and we worked together on what this means and how they can support me in my gender, then the response has been super positive and super loving, and my family has been extremely supportive and willing to help me through my transition and through my journey in general, and however far that goes. So yeah, reaction in general from almost everyone has been super positive.